Worldwide is the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show on 860 AM WNOV and W293CX 106.5. Wherever you may be listening, however you may be listening, whether on those stations, the TuneIn app, the Simple Radio app, the radio tab on the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com website, social media, or anywhere in between, we are live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I am your host, Joey Barrett. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
The WisconsinVegetableGardener.com is your destination for all things gardening. 850-plus videos, short and long format. Email, you can find there, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and a whole lot more, all for free, all to help you. Planting in urban spaces. Many of you are, and just like us, we don't have acreages or farms in which we can grow the produce in which we want to eat, can preserve, or sell. So by planting in small spaces or maximizing the spaces in which you have available to plant, you can get more out of it. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about different scenarios, different methods of planting. We're going to really focus on those tight spaces today. If you have no space, if you just have a balcony, porch, deck, patio, maybe you have a little corner in the yard, we're going to look at all of the options here to give you more of a confidence that, hey, you can grow something no matter where you're at. So the first thing we want to address is one of our sponsors. They have a great tool, the Greenstock Grow Tower.
Yeah, so the Greenstock Grow Tower, it only takes up 2 square feet of space, but because of its system, it grows in tiers. So there's anywhere from 3 to 5 tiers, and you can do anywhere from 3 tier is 18 planting pockets, 4 is 24 planting pockets, and 5 is 30 planting pockets.
Now, we're not telling you to go buy it. We're just making you aware that is a product that's out there. And if you want to see how this product works, just go on YouTube and type in Greenstock Grow Tower. There are dozens of videos that show how universal and how productive that particular device is that you can grow in. Now, other ways you can plant in urban spaces, if you don't want to choose that route, is you can use a straw bale. A straw bale garden. We had Joel Carson on the first program. You can find that underneath the radio tab on the website, and you can revisit that interview. You can grow in a straw bale. There is a conditioning process. The book goes over it. We go over it a little bit in the interview. But that is essentially the equivalent of 14 cubic feet of soil. You can grow it at the top. You can grow it on the sides. You can use it on a patio, porch, balcony. If you got the balcony thing is a little questionable because if you got people underneath you, they're going to get wet. And all their property is going to get wet.
Right.
So keep that in mind.
The beautiful thing about the straw bale is you're not virtually going to have any weeds. So if that's something that you're like, I would love to have a garden. However, no matter where you live, you're like, I just don't want to deal with weeds. Well, straw bale gardening is definitely an option for you.
Another option is a window box or a hanging box. These are small boxes in which you can hang off your window or attach to the window on the outer portion. You open the window up and it's anywhere from 18 to 24 inches long by 6 to 8 inches wide, 8 inches deep, and you can plant a variety of different things. Now, obviously, we want to be common sense here. A window box is not going to sustain a pumpkin or a watermelon, something like that. You may be able to get a couple of what they call cherry varieties or bush varieties or compact tomatoes in that box. Even the hanging, topsy-turvy tomato planter. It's not really designed for massive production, but you can hang it on your porch, or a porch would be best, or somewhere where you can get a lot of sunlight.
Basically, if you wanted some tomatoes every once in a while for a salad or something.
Yeah, it will produce, but you got to keep it watered. And light requirements, it's important to use light. You have to have a lot of light no matter where we're at on any of these devices. So
you want to make sure that no matter what you're doing, you're growing in something good for your plant. So potting mix is ideal because it's mixed with peat and perlite to hold moisture and allow airflow for your plants in an enclosed container.
And we want to, if we're going to grow in containers, obviously, here's the little word problem or little saying you want to keep in mind. Smaller the soil, quicker it dries out. So if you can get a large container, 15, 20, 30-gallon grow bag, something of that nature, the more massive soil in which you have in that container, the slower that container dries out. A gallon container of soil dries out much, much quicker than 5 gallons. So it's basic physics, I guess, is the terminology used, or it dries out quicker, so you want to keep that in mind. So you want something that does have some water retention. If you're looking at a potting mix, that's the white perlite or vermiculite. Those have some water retaining capabilities. You can also go with self-watering containers as well. One thing you'll see when you do research on urban planting or small planting is you can grow in a gutter. Simply, people will do this. They'll put a gutter up on the fence or the side of the house or on a device, close the ends off, and they'll put soil in it. Now, most of you know how deep a gutter is that's on the side of your house. Don't do this. Because by the time you get the seeds planted and you water it and walk in the house, that thing's already dry because you're working with about 2 inches or 3 inches of soil. It doesn't work.
Now, this is not to be confused with the gutter
rain gutter grow system. That's a totally different.
That's totally different. Yeah. This is actually literally planting your seeds and soil in a gutter.
And people will do this with leaf lettuce. Some people will do this with strawberries. Again, strawberries don't understand that because strawberries will last 5 to 7 years. And it just don't do it. You're going to be very disappointed with the end result. Easy access to these boxes, a salad box. I mean, right now, it's iffy to get leaf lettuce planted right now outdoors because the days are getting longer, and plants, the early plants, or what they call cool season plants that you plant in the spring and fall, will go to seed or go to bolt whenever, and they put a flower on when the days get longer. They notice this. That's part of their reproduction system. As the days get long, they put seed pod on. They die off. That's how that works. So it's
but
iffy
you can
on
plant lettuce in the fall.
In the fall, yeah. Also, if you have a good type of device, you can plant it in a windowsill in the kitchen, and your temperatures are going to be relatively close enough, and the day is not. You're not going to get enough sunlight in there. You could probably make that work a little bit.
Another thing you can think about is a lot of people will plant on fire escapes. If you live in a larger city, you have that option. That's definitely an idea. Or just utilizing, like Joy had mentioned, space inside your home. Or you could even do something where maybe you have like a garage at your apartment or condo. You can put something on wheels, wheel it out during the day, and then maybe wheel it back in at night.
One thing I forgot to mention is the old, friendly, familiar hanging basket. Mother's Day is coming around. A lot of you moms are going to get flowers, and I will guess that a lot of you will forget to water them in about a week, and the plants will die, or the flowers will do their little thing in the end. Dump that soil out, put new soil in. We've grown a lot of things in hanging baskets. Herbs work great. Hang them outside the door. You can get a little bracket, or you just set them on the porch patio or the street. Just keep them watered.
We even grew that one bush cherry tomato.
Yeah, bush cherry tomato worked very well.
Basket.
Yeah, so that's something you can do. And again, we want to get the standard about 14-inch hanging basket. We don't want to get the little 4 or 6-inch, and they come in varieties. And for those of you who are thrifty like we are, wait about 2 weeks from now, after Mother's Day is over. Moms will forget to water, and some of these places.
You're insulting a lot of moms right now.
Well, that we all forget to water, and you know just like I know.
Maybe it's not mom's fault. Maybe it's her husband's fault.
Okay.
Father's fault, who's supposed to water the
I think
plant,
that's a different show on the station here.
All right.
But anyway, go around on junk day. You'll see these thrown out on the curb. Pick them up, wash them out with a soapy water. Don't use that soil. And then you can put your good potting mix in it and grow your herbs or your compact tomatoes in it. So that works out very well. We've done that, like Holly said, and it worked really, really good.
Another option you have, even if you don't want to get soil and you want something fresh to grow, and this is something you can do all year round or during the winter, is you can sprout seeds. And you can sprout things like broccoli or radish seeds, and then it gives you those.
We're talking sprouts.
Yeah, sprouts, basically. Right. And it's just something fresh and raw to eat. And
you pay dearly for this in the store. And you'll get this, like if you go to a Subway, sub sandwich place, you'll see you have the option of sprouts. That's what we're talking about. But there's certain sprouts that are good, and there's other sprouts that, do some research. We try to do squash sprouts.
They were so bitter.
It was not but that's how we learned.
Tasty. Yeah, exactly.
That's how we learned. So with that, what else can we do? Have we forgot anything on this? But again, we want to keep in mind, we want to have plenty of sunlight or adequate sunlight for the crop in which you're growing. Herbs, you can get away with 4 or 5 hours. Tomatoes, if you're doing that compact tomato, you want full sun if you can.
I think we forgot about we grow that dwarf lime tree indoors, and that doesn't require any outdoor growing space, and it's done well indoors.
Now, again, we're not producing limes like mad.
It produces limes, but it's enough for, just having an occasional.
And also, it helps purify the air indoors too, because it's pulling the air, cleaning the air too. So hopefully that inspires you to be a little creative and think out of the box in what you can grow. Even if you're limited to very little or maybe no space, there's always options to grow. If you're in the Milwaukee or surrounding areas, just tune your radio to 860 AM or FM 106.5. You can also find links on our Facebook pages, The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener and Home Canning. Our website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, click on the radio tab at the top of the page, then click on the Listen Live button, and you'll have immediately access to our live program. Mobile devices work very well. Also, go to your app store and download for free the TuneIn app or the Simple Radio app. Then search WNOV 860, save it to your favorites, and you can have access to our radio show live wherever you're at in the world. Our radio program will also have podcast replay under the radio tab several days following the live broadcast. You can find all of these links in the show notes below. Our show airs 9 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time every Saturday, March through the end of October. And we want to thank our sponsors because without them, this would not be anywhere possible. You can find all of their links under the radio tab on our website at thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.